CBS told me if I didn't do their songs, I would find myself homeless. And this is with a wife and children. This is Spencer, basically. Spencer Proffer and Pasha threatened if I don't come down to the studio to send somebody up to hurt me. There was talk about possibly having their Colombian associates from CBS pulling up to when me and my children would stop at a light in Los Angeles, they would pull up with a 45 and they would aim it at us and they would shoot us, but it was blank. There wasn't anything in the cartridge then to get me to go. The CBS was gangster shit in my day. Don, who managed, who's Sharon Osbourne's father, he was a big time gangster in England and handled Electric Light Orchestra. Andy Johns, brothers Glenn Johns, who worked for the Stones and the Who and just everybody, Zeppelin, Andy, all of this stuff. Don Ard wanted him to do the Electric Light Orchestra, and Andy told him to go fuck off because Andy didn't want to work with gangsters. And Don Arden told him, had him taken out and had him tied up and said they were going to pour gasoline on him and set his ass on fire. These are the good old days of the record business. This ain't no bullshit. This is real serious, where bodyguards had guns. When I got a call from Ike Turner wanting me to Bullock Sounds in Watts, I went there, and a guy met me at the door with this little submachine gun thing. Everybody, this was serious shit. You'd go. They had a little studio on Santa Monica Boulevard that was called the Parent Studio, and that was Bob Womack's studio. Him, Ike, and Sly all hung out there, and you had studio instrument rentals on one side where they kept the instruments, Pyramids in the middle of it, and the rehearsal studios were on the other side for FDR in Los Angeles. And you'd go there and you'd see guys, no bullshit, and you'd either see outside and they had a lump in their sides or one of their fucking deals, and you knew there was a gun. They were all paid. Everybody was and had bodyguards and threatening and all this bullshit. SP was a gangster, straight up. CBS was a gangster, straight up. They're still fucking gangsters. They're still, laws applicable. It's all good stuff, man. They can fuck it away with, their heroin and cocaine dealers. It's literally control, fear. California and Nevada legislation and the LA County Sheriff's Department. And the FBI don't do a fucking thing about it. I went and I spoke with them on Wilshire about all this bullshit, and they wouldn't let me speak to the director because his name was Parish, like a church in their parish. I didn't belong to a parish, so he wouldn't see me. And this is on Wilshire Boulevard down there by 405. These guys are straight up fucking assholes, but I mean gangster assholes. This ain't no bullshit with these sons of bitches. They don't fuck around with this shit. No. But the writers I did write with, I can say I wrote with John Lennon's guitar. I wrote with the man Snowden, Earl Slick, Snuffy did West Wing, all of that. I wrote with him. I wrote with Alan Swan, Tony Newton for Tony Williams' Lifetime. That's a jet band when Miles Davis sent for Tony Williams, and Tony Williams split with Columbia. Didn't split from Columbia, but broke up Tony Williams' Lifetime to go with Miles. If Miles Davis hadn't gone and asked Tony Williams to join his project, I wouldn't have been able to join. I wouldn't have my affiliations I do with the Tony Newton and Alan Pasqua from Tony Williams' Lifetime. There's a lot of shit going on there. Sly and the Family Stone again. Bobby Lyle, gorgeous pianist, and I was going to do business with him. He had me meet him. So went down to hear him at the Lake Cafe in the Valley. A gorgeous pianist. So you can get him online. It's fabulous. Colin Powell is head of the CIA and affiliated with the White House, and of course General Colin Powell.
General Powell?
General Colin Powell. He had Bobby Lyle do his music for him at the Hilton. And they had it at the Hilton because you got to remember, Vietnam was the Hanoi Hilton. So he had Bobby and him got together with the CIA and the Pentagon, along with Mrs. Powell, and they had General Colin Powell was coming out with his book, and he had this huge soiree at the Hilton. Well, the night before he had this huge banquet at Hilton, Bobby Lyle, to get warmed up for went to the Lake Cafe. So I spoke with Bobby Lyle because I had material I had accepted from Henry Mancini's son involving Henschel and Williams from Genesis. I had a whole project from England. Mancini, that's Henry Mancini's kid. And the next fucking thing I know, I get to the Hilton.
Hold on.
Yeah, I wrote with a lot of writers, a lot of great writers. Pat Lolly Vegas, when Sly broke up, Average White Band, when Robbie died, they wanted me to join the Average White Band, leave Sly and the Family Stone. Well, to make a long story short, Bobby wants to meet me, and he says, meet me at the Hilton tomorrow after his performance. I met him and spoke with Bobby because we both worked together with Sly and the Family Stone. He then says to me, I get to the Hilton to talk to him about this project. And the next thing I know, I said, so what are you doing here? He says, well, I'm here for General Colin Powell. He says, they're having General Colin Powell and his wife are having they're introducing their new book. And that's all fucking CIA and fucking Pentagon, and everybody's listening to you got Russia there. Everybody's watching everybody going into that fucking thing with taking pictures and that shit. You had I got this when we moved up to the desert, up to California City, Starboard 2. They had this 10-acre plot, and so this guy tells me about this school bus that's full of bullet holes. So we go to the valley, we go out to the desert, and there's this really old school bus, and it's filled with bullet holes. And I picked it up. And
wait, you picked up the school bus?
Yeah, because it wasn't on the axle or anything, so I had me and my friends pick it up. I put it at trailers.
Okay, friends helped you.
Oh yeah.
Because the way you picked it up.
No. So we back up to my land, and we set it up there, and I turned it into a little playhouse for the kids. It was nice. It was really nice. Their little fort and horses and bugs and.
I already warned that jackass.
Lost everything.